Hey, welcome everyone to the weekly sync for the package team for March 1st, 2021. We have a few items to get through on the agenda, and I'll start that off since David has the first couple, but Dave's not attending. So the scalability team created auto-generated dashboards for each team, and here is the one for package. Feel free to check it out. If you have any issues, report them here. These dashboards are actually really useful to check for production, any sort of outages in production. And I think these are really valuable for us to sort of have a sense of where our systems are at. So definitely worth checking these out. I think a good thing to think about here is that we probably end up using them. And at some schedule, we'll be looking at these. We'll have to figure out what that is. Steve?
Yeah, I was just noting that these are one of the things that we can just kind of like remember to check after features hit production, make sure that they still look the same.
Nice. Yeah, it's a good idea. I like that idea. Cool. Moving on, David has the second item. Hi, David, if you're watching this, I hope everything's okay. The above gave me the idea, which is the production dashboards, to have a dashboard section in our handbook page, and David created an MR for that. So check out the MR. I'm going to go check it out. It's probably assigned to me. I'll go have a look at it and make sure it gets merged if there isn't any feedback. Cool. Yeah, probably the discussion point that I wanted to raise with everyone is I've had feedback from the team. There are a lot of active community contributions right now. So I don't expect to get a huge amount of, off the cuff feedback here. But something I want to start thinking about is if we're exceeding our ability to support the community in terms of the number of contributions, maybe we need to work on a different way to sort of work through those items, and try to think about how we're communicating. I think, communication is important, and feedback to community contributors so they know that their effort is, appreciated and being acted on in some way. But if we're unable to actually get through those reviews, then we need to work out a way to make sure we're getting back to them.
Are those all backend, or there is also front-end stuff there?
The feedback I've had so far from the team is around back-end work, Nico, but I'm not saying that is or isn't true for front-end work either.
No, because I haven't seen any front-end community contribution in milestones, so that's why.
Yeah, no worries. Steve, do you want to verbalize?
Yeah, I've thought about this a bunch because there's a lot of pros and cons, and it's difficult because we certainly don't want to not be, helping these community contributors. But the one idea I did have is we do track wider MR count. So maybe something we could do is kind of set a goal around that of we want maybe X wider MRs per month or milestone or whatever. And then if that means that in order to hit 8, but we've got 14, then we have to tell 6 people that, we won't be able to get to this until the next milestone or something like that. That's one thing I've been thinking about as maybe something we could look at.
Yeah, I don't mind the suggestion. I think the concern I have, particularly around community contributions, if we kind of go, we're not going to get to that until 3 months from now because we can't, it kind of likely will not leave that person feeling, like they're well supported. And then that community contributor could end up sort of going, what, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not saying that's true, obviously, I hope not, but I think it's a good suggestion. Yeah, I think metering it somehow is necessary if we're sort of at capacity, particularly as I know some of you all are maintainers, and so you've got other commitments that you need to support the community as well. So I think we need to come up with something. You're looking to match the actual targets that GitLab set, and then
maybe, I mean, it's I go back and forth for the same reasons you just mentioned, where it's like, I don't want to discourage any community contributions, which doing something like this could cause discouragement. There's other options of having maybe other people review that don't have domain expertise, but then we do lose that additional sort of oversight. We do have like MR coaches. There's, I think, a dozen or more people that are, set up to review community contributions and help community contributors. So it could maybe help to leverage that system a little bit, but it's really not an easy problem.
A question that I think I asked in the past and then it stays there. What is the biggest overhead for you, for example, Steve? The usual wear and tear and grind, and so changelog is missing, this thing it doesn't respect our code guidelines, or this kind of stuff that anybody can do, or actual code domain expertise review?
It's usually the domain expertise review. That's the overhead. Like the ones that take up a lot of time are at least for me, are like, I have to learn the thing they're trying to do in order to properly review whether or not it does that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I think it might be worth, like, I know you've all been doing this for some time, so I'm not sure if there's any sort of efficiencies to be found in that part of the process, whether it's like quick reviews for domain expertise type considerations and then a handoff to another reviewer, or some other approach that we could take. I think we kind of want to make sure community contributions are going to work with what, the rest of the broader work going on within the team. So that's clearly really important. And if that's the biggest effort going into supporting the community contributions, we probably have to just think of ways to streamline that if possible. And if not, we can't do them all if we've got more than the number of people, the number of humans that we have in the team. There's nothing we can do about it. I'm thinking more about at that point, it's more about the communication and the way we're communicating with people, which we might have to give people not great news of, we're not going to be able to get to this right now, unfortunately. In those cases, it may be better to hand them off to get the basic type review of, code guidelines and the other things that Nico mentioned. It might be a way to sort of at least help that person feel supported and, get some feedback for them to act on. So, yeah, okay. Cool. Anyone else have any other thoughts on that topic?
Yeah, one thing, maybe this is a signal that we should invest in writing a little bit of more technical documentation around our code area. This helps in several things: onboarding, community contributor, and then you can answer MR saying, hey, this is not okay, link to handbook. I've seen some teams starting to write even on the front end, like technical documentation specific to that area. Maybe this is something that we can take in consideration.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a good suggestion too. Yeah, all right. Maybe we need to update the handbook page and start adding thoughts, sort of those sorts of things to make it clear to people what they can expect. I'll go review the handbook page and what we say about supporting community contributions and see if there's anything that we need to add there, and maybe we could discuss on the MR there. Cool. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to discuss that more later. All right, and the last one here that I had added was we have cause for celebration. And thanks for the edit, João. Appreciate it. The last MR merged for the implementation of the online garbage collection. That's very exciting. That's a lot of hard work over a while. It's our MVC, right, João?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I should not have. I wrote basic, so I apologize for that. I'll put MVC in here. That's probably a better representation. Yeah. So nice work. Both Haley and João have been working really hard for a long time to get that work done. And there's a significant amount of focus and attention that's required in putting that in place. A lot of work with lots of teams around GitLab, and exploring and learning a lot about the Docker distribution registry implementation that we forked, and then making sure that we can maintain the existing implementation whilst moving forward with adding the online garbage collection. So not to mention a couple of other exciting things that have come up during that time, which must have been pretty stressful at times, but really appreciate all the hard work, and I know the rest of the team does as well. So thank you very much to both of you. There's still a heap to get done, of course, but super good work. Really, really awesome. Thank you. Sweet. If no one has any comments, I'm going to stop the recording and we'll cover the unrecorded item and maybe have a chat as well. So thank you again, everyone. And I hope everyone